Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the March 4th Impact Review. Sorry this is a little late since I have been sick. My schedule has been a little late. So this is being uploaded almost before Saturday morning, around 10. I've been very sick and I had some appointments to go to, unfortunately. So this is done pretty late. But it's here. We got it. What do we got? Oh, I don't know what to make of this Impact. Anyone else might think maybe there was too much stuff in here or there wasn't enough. But it felt like Impact wasn't bad. It wasn't. It was actually quite good. But it felt like some things really, I don't know. It just felt like maybe there might have been more might have been shoved in. Still sick. Then needed. It was kind of like they were pushing a little too hard. You could say this is total overkill and there was too much shit in here. I just felt like they were trying a little too hard. But actually, even though they tried a little too hard, it was still a good show. Now let's get some stuff out of the way. Gut check. Adam Pearce versus oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking out on him. Magno. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm still sick and I am taking medication. I'm glad you guys have been cutting me some slack and not saying in the comments, dude, don't do these things because it's getting on our nerves. You're not thinking clearly. Wait until you're better and then do these. I'm glad you're not doing that. Thank you very much. Adam Pearce versus Magno. I saw both of their promos. Adam Pearce was a very nice promo. So was Magno. I was a little antsy about Magno because they let him start speaking Spanish first and they had the subtitles. But I wasn't overwhelmed by it. Now, what many people will probably think, oh, what are you talking about? The guy speaks Spanish, so? Well, that sometimes many people, casual fans, don't want to read subtitle. They just want you to say it in the language that they understand a lot better. So I wasn't totally offended by it and I wasn't annoyed by it. Being a little sick is kind of hard to read when your eyes hurt. But I felt that it was a nice touch. They let him do Spanish first with the subtitle. And then at the end they let him talk. So at least people know he can't speak English. So that also tells me, unlike with Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara, Sin Cara can't speak English. So eventually what did they do? They let Rey speak for him whenever they had them together. It's good to see Magno speaking English because then at least we know he can get a promo segment out of him. Unlike Sin Cara where we can't really get one, it's all going to be in Spanish unless someone interprets for him. The match itself was actually very good. They have very good chemistry. But the problem here was Magno. He was very good in the very beginning. He looked good in the beginning. Middle to the end, severely sloppy. I'm not saying that he's a bad talent. No. But when you saw him, when he was supposed to go to the top turnbuckle and then flip over, or at least before Adam Pearce, if that guy's name is named Pearce, if I'm pronouncing his name, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. But Adam Pearce came at him, maybe he might have came a little fast, but he should have jumped to the top turnbuckle and then did the flip back. Because he tried to do from the second turnbuckle and then tried to do a hop over. He should have anticipated that. And then when he tried to do the flip over the ring rope and then almost snapped his damn neck up, that just looked really sloppy. And the commentating team tried to really play down what he did. And I still can't stand Taz on commentary, being an Aces and Eights talker, being a heel, but he did say some valid stuff. The guy needs to slow down. He tried too hard. This was their chance to try and be seen by the TNA Impact group. I mean, the Impact crowd. And I wish to say the Arkansas crowd was quite good. But really, Magno did not look good. He did not look good. Adam looked way better. Now, remember, it was Sean. I can't believe I keep forgetting Sean's name. I'm sorry, dude, if I keep forgetting your last name. I've always been bad with names. I will work on it. Since you're the one who mainly leaves me some comments, and I'm very thankful for it. But Sean, and he's one of my subscribers, which I'm really glad about, he said that Pierce was not going to be in X Division, but Magno would be. And he's right. You could see the size difference. And Pierce was the one that got over here by pretty much holding on to the ring rope, which was nothing wrong with that. It's not bad to actually have a heel cheat in this respect, because the match in the beginning was good, it was sloppy in the middle, and it was sloppy near the end. And it wasn't Adam Pearce's fault. It wasn't. He was really actually very good. So, who do I think is going to get the contract? I'm going to leave that until the next gut check, because both of them are not bad talents. This could be that Magno was very nervous, which would be surprising if he's been around for 13 years in the business. But it doesn't mean that doesn't really happen. It's not rare that happens. Wrestlers, as some people call them, or wrestlers, but wrestlers really, they get nervous like everybody else. Sometimes they could get a little rattled, being in a different venue that's a lot larger than normal. And I know the Arkansas Arena, I mean, that's not what it's called, but in Arkansas, the arena was pretty big, but the key was that this was on nationwide television and international television. That can rattle someone, even if they've been in the business 10, 15, or even 20 years, and either this is their first time, or maybe they haven't been doing it for a very long time and they're coming back to it. So I'm not going to bury Magno for this, but I can't lie, he was sloppy. Now, the X Division qualifying match with Duff, with Andrews, and with P.D. Williams. And I wish to say, out of all three of these talents, Mason Andrews, P.D. Williams, and Sanjay Duff, I gotta admit, the one that looked the best here, who actually looked like he might have supposedly just came out of Gladiator with his tunic in the front, that would be P.D. Williams. I felt P.D. was the best one there. Not taking anything from Duff or Andrews. But really, Williams just looked really crisp and good. And he was a former X Division. He was formerly in the X Division. He teamed up with Eric Young, for all people. So it's not something he hasn't done before. He just looked really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing Williams again. Since he won, he will be in the round with with Kenny King, baby. But I've said this before and I say this again. It's nice to see something totally different from the X Division. Seeing a three-way match. And also seeing a three-way match for the X Division for the championship match is different. And it's good to see something different. My fear is that they'll overdo this. I know that some people may say, dude, how can you overdo something that's with the X Division? It can be done. I'm not saying that right now it's going to happen. Right now it's fresh, it's new. They don't put it on every Impact. And soon, one night only, which is probably tonight. Not seeing it right now because I'm pretty sick. I'm going to try and catch it on a rerun for the pay-per-view. I'm going to see if I can catch it. But seeing this, there's nothing wrong with it. But I just don't want TNA to do it too much. And then it becomes so repetitious that it becomes dull to the people who watch it. I know people are saying right now, if they're watching this, dude, it's not going to be repetitious. It's not going to be boring. I'm not talking about now. I'm not talking about a month from now. I'm talking about 6 months, a year from now, counting on how much they do this. Because there could be points where, like with TNA and WCW, when they use the cruiserweights to open their shows and always use the cruiserweights to supplement when the show sucked. I just don't want the X Division to go back to that, because that's how the X Division eventually became. The X Division was the crown of TNA. And right now, the X Division has been fucked over by TNA. They had the perfect division that was doing great work, particularly with the six-sided ring. Then they got rid of the six-sided ring, went back to a standard ring. Then they went from the standard ring and steadily stopped using the X Division in their shows, and then it tanked. The X Division was almost never seen, and then they fucked it over with terrible storylines. This is a different concept for the X Division, and it's not a bad one. I'm not complaining. I actually enjoy the three-way dances they're doing. Only thing I'm saying is that I don't want them to realize maybe 5 months down the road that, hey, the people are really enjoying this. Let's throw it on every show, every time in the beginning of the show with, even if it's somewhat different people, we do it every single time. Boom, boom, boom. I don't want them to do that. Make it special. Make it something that's not always occurring every single time. Not only that the X Division comes on, but when TNA comes on. Only thing I want is that. I don't mind stays like this as long as they don't overutilize it. If you understand what I'm saying, leave a comment below. So that's how I feel about it. Now, next, and I'm not going in order like here. I'm not going in order, ladies and gentlemen. This is about Hogan and AJ Styles with the little introduction of a James Stone, baby. This was a good segment. We saw early in the night with AJ running into Anderson, Doc, and Mikey who will eat anything, which is Mike Knox, getting a vest, in other words, a cut of the Aces and Eights cloth, and then he takes it to the ring with Hulk Hogan, who's basically saying, what the hell are you doing? We need you. This was actually a very good segment. AJ didn't really talk that much. The person who talked the best was James Storm, saying basically, we started this business together. We have been back to, they have had this show on our backs. We are the one who made sure this show worked. But then you just turned your back on this show. So you got a choice. Either you hang it up, or I'm going to knock your teeth down your throat. Pretty much like that. I always like that line. But Storm hit it on the head. He hit it perfect. Those two are one of the founders of TNA, taking away from the one who will not be named, Jeff Jarrett. The one who founded the company, the one who made the shows, were these two along with a few others. But primarily, James Storm and AJ Styles started that show together. They are TNA. And seeing this feud forged in this way is actually very good. Seeing AJ leave the ring with the cut in his hand of the Aces and Eights vest still makes you think, will he really take it or not? This is the suspense I've been wanting from TNA. Then building it in a way that TNA doesn't tell you if he's going to do this or not. Will he still fight with James Storm? This is how I feel about it. Will he still fight with James Storm? Yes. But will he be a heel for Aces and Eights, or will he be a heel for himself? This is the question. AJ's turned heel. But the question is, will he be part of the faction, or will he solely be by himself? I'm hoping that he will just forget about Aces and Eights and just be for himself. That's how I feel it's going to be. But it's still early, so we don't know. Now, I gotta do this. I'm not gonna do this yet. I'm not doing it yet. The contract signing between the heels, the dirty heels of Robert Roode and the greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries, versus the stereotypicals Chavo and Superman. But maybe for not long. I feel that those two dirty heels talked very well. Austin Aries and Robert Roode are always good talkers, and they dominated that entire segment. I am very happy they did. Chavo just didn't sound good. And I always say Chavo's not a good talker. He's reasonable when he's not good. But I've always said that Chavo and Superman will not stay together for very long. I still don't believe Chavo is going to stay in either X Division or a tag team or even a television title position. I believe that he said early before he signed this contract, I have never gotten a championship belt. I won it at least once. But to do that, he's got to be getting over with the people. This is the beginning of it. The stipulation states, whoever wins They got the championship belts. There's no problem with that. But whoever loses is no longer allowed to ever team up again with their partner. The one who showed the most frustration was Superman. When I saw Superman's frustration, I knew 100% that this is the beginning and end for stereotypicals. They are about to break them up. And this doesn't have to be with them losing this championship match. By Chavo not really giving Superman the chance to decide this, deciding for him, this is the catalyst for them to eventually break up. Now, if they do break up, fine. But I don't think it's going to go down that way. I believe there's going to be a conflict between the face Chavo, no, the face Superman, my mistake. I don't know why I got them mixed up. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The face Superman and the heel Chavo. Because Chavo has always been the one who's been more dominant than Superman. Even though Superman's a much better talent. I'm not really bashing on Chavo the Guerrero Jr. He's put his time in. He worked with his uncle Gary. I don't believe I said Gary. Eddie Guerrero, who I love myself. He is not a bad talent, but he's a mid-carder. He is. But in this case, I think since he came to TNA, he wants to be more than a mid-carder. I'm sure he wants to be an upper-carder and be in the main event scene. So I believe that they're going to try and push him in that position. Eventually. Not now, but eventually. But he needs someone to feud with. So it's going to be Chavo and it's going to be Superman eventually feuding. And I believe Superman, and hopefully people will remember this, that I said this early, Superman will be the face and Chavo will be the heel. I believe that I might be right. Now let's move on to the one I really want to talk about. The Knockouts Tag Team match of Velvet Sky and Terrence Terrell. And I have to say with Terrence, she looks very good. There's only two problems with her. I like the waves in her hair. The curls in her hair, she looked much more sexier. And those boots don't look right on her. She should be wearing black or red boots. White just does not set her off. And I'm not no big fashion guy. But I want to look at a good looking lady that has some good looking legs. And I think red or black boots will make her legs look a lot better. I like legs. They know how to use them. That's an old line that people don't remember anymore. But the match really was interesting, not because Terrence Terrell wrestled, and she wrestled pretty good in chain wrestling. It was not about Tara. It was not about Gail Kim or Velvet Sky, even though she has boobs that anybody would love, a man or a woman. It was... Oh, man. Joey Ryan, you bastard. I love you, man. He went to Brooke early before the segment with her and her husband and said, let me do the match. And she told him, don't touch those women. You're going to pay for it. He was willing to pay for it. Motherfucker, that was funny. If anybody felt that this was too sexist, please just see it for what it was. It was trying to make something more livelier than it originally was. We've seen matches between these women except for Terrence Terrell. Miss Tessmacher with Velvet Sky. We've seen all these women wrestle each other except Terrence. This is the first time she's wrestled. And like I said, she didn't do bad. She did some chain wrestling. She actually looked better than Velvet Sky did. She looks like she actually could have some potential to be a good wrestler. But I think she still might be a little green. But she looked way better than the Velvet Sky usually does. But seeing Joey Ryan checking them, wanting to, staring at the cooch, the tits, dude, that was the most stupidest and funniest shit I've seen in quite a while. He made that match funny. He did. Was it sexist? Yes. And I'm not too fond of them over-sexing something. But it wasn't too sexist. It was sex enough that you see a horny motherfucker in a Joey Ryan getting a dream of a lifetime, having to separate 4 women who look good. And then Jesse getting mad, pulling off his shirt saying, get the fuck away from my woman. This is my woman. This is my woman here. Get away from my woman. That was a good touch. At the end, you got a Gail Kim using her sexual ways, her feminine ways, not sexual, feminine ways to convince a Joey Ryan to go 1, 2, 3 and get the pin over a Terrence Terrell. And he thought he was going to get something in reciprocation until she walked off. But then he decides, hey, there's still two good-looking women in the ring. Should I leave now and make sure that something bad doesn't happen to me? Or should I go over to the one with the really good-looking tits and ass, and the other one that may have smaller boobs, but she's damn good-looking? I think I'll go in the ring and not worry if I'm going to get hurt. And what do we get? Right up his damn nuts. He got it right in the nads, which he deserves. This match was damn funny. It was the match of the night for me. I just loved this damn match. It was so funny. Which is okay. Even though it didn't totally progress what's going on with Gail Kim and Terrence Terrell, yes, it doesn't. And we still don't know any type of matches for Velvet Sky, which is not good. Velvet is the champion, and she should be promoted along with a Terrence Terrell and Gail Kim feud. She's supposed to have a feud of her own. But this, it's okay for at least for now. At least they're trying. I'm not saying it's right, though. It's not. You need more work with the knockouts, TNA. So I'm just going to go from there. Now, what do we get next? There were several segments of the night that weren't bad when we got a Kurt Angle talking to a Joseph Park. We got the AJ Styles segment when he was talking to Anderson and the two knuckleheads, Doc and Mikey. And then we got the Brooke Hogan and the Hulk Hogan, Terry. I'm very disappointed in the backstage. I'm very disappointed in the segment in the ring when it came finally to Brooke and to Bully Ray. Really, I'm very disappointed. And there's one YouTuber that I've mentioned her a couple of times, Ms. Impact. She helped me to notice something. Because her love for TNA and her love for Brooke Hogan. After seeing this, and I had made my complaints about this before, that we don't know if Brooke Hogan really has the potential to be able to talk. And seeing this really makes me feel they're not going to give her the opportunity. I believe her own father, possibly Eric Bischoff, possibly anyone else, Bruce Pritchard, Dixie Carter, I don't care who it is, the writing team, it makes no difference. Someone must really believe that she's not capable of doing the job, so they give her almost no segments to talk. None. I find this very disdaining. I don't like it. Look, if the woman's going to flop with her words, better yet, here. In 2010 into 2011 almost, we had a Karen Jarrett. May have been a tall looking, not half bad looking woman with some not bad looking boobs and not bad looking ass with some long ass legs that many people would love to spread and do something into. They thought they could put her on TV because she formerly was Kurt Angle's actual wife and could probably do a good promo. This woman could not talk out of a paper fucking bag. She was that bad with her promo segment. She screamed, she whined, she sounded like fingers on a chalkboard. That's how bad she was. She was not a good actress. And they gave her that opportunity. And the only thing she was, she was originally Kurt Angle's real wife. Then she became basically Jeff Jarrett, I believe, his wife. And that's the only reason she was pushed. This is fucking Hulk Hogan's daughter, who's been in the business maybe roughly 2 years or maybe 2.5 years now. We don't know if she even has the ability to talk. She doesn't sound like she's bad. She sounds like a valley girl, which is not a bad thing. She doesn't sound bad. She doesn't have a bad accent. She looks like she could actually put over a good promo. But if you don't fucking give her the opportunity to do it, people will begin to lose interest in her. Or they may think that she's just a prop. And this woman who has been given a golden fucking opportunity. I'm sorry for so much cursing, ladies and gentlemen, but this does upset me. This woman has an opportunity to do even more work for Bully Ray, to do even more work for a Hulk Hogan, who could even help a Jeff Hardy over. She doesn't need to say a lot, but if you give her the opportunity to talk, she probably, whatever bit she could contribute, will help the product and the storyline better. And then we'll see if she is capable of giving more dialogue, if she is capable of doing a really good storyline. Because I haven't seen shit from her. This is ridiculous. I didn't like the promo segment, particularly what happened with Bully Ray saying, I want you to be in front row. And then when Jeff Hardy came down, it wasn't a bad segment with those two, but it sucked with that. Now finally is a 10-man tag that was like a big clusterfuck, but it wasn't that bad. I wasn't totally bored with it. The guys who got most over was Joe, was Eli, was Park. I felt those are the ones who got over the most. And in the end, you got, who was it? It was Doc who won over Joseph Park, I believe. Was it? I can't remember. I think it was, yeah. Doc won over Joseph Park. So that feud is going to continue. Eventually going to have another match. Now, if I'm forgetting anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Sorry. But I rate this really a B-. They're not really doing anything with Samoa Joe and Magnus. They only bring them out when they want to do the all-star thing. Brooke Hogan is what brought it down from a B, possibly a B to a B-, because they're really not giving her an opportunity to talk. I am not fond of that. But I am fond of seeing what's going to happen next week. I am fond to see about the match of Mayhem between Jeff Hardy and Bully Ray of tables, ladders, and chairs. I want to see what's going to happen there and who's going to win. I'm giving this a B-. It wasn't a bad show. It was good, but I really didn't feel like things were done right, and maybe they were trying a little too hard in certain areas. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Finally got it this time. Damn! I was so close. This close without a stupid cough. Sorry. But give my channel a chance. Give me a subscribe. Definitely give me a comment. I love your comments because I get to learn more about what the business is about and what you guys think of. Have a good night, and I will be doing my SmackDown review soon.